While Skibo was at the works, he met some new friends, and he brought them home with him to help around the railway, securing the railway's place in the ranks of British railways. The new engines were keen to make a good impression. Well, except two. Where is that Scotsman? He's making me late. I've arrived! Yes, you have. 15 minutes late. Excuse me, it's not my fault a couple of cows broke out of their farm and ran onto my line. I made up for lost time as best as I could. And how was I supposed to know that? As I've said before, I'm always early. Much quicker than you, I might add. If I'm not early, or at least on time, you must assume something has gone wrong. Agnes then arrived with a lumber train beside the station. She did not want to hear any more shouting. What is with you two? Well, Mrs. Boxface. Hey! Ahem. As you know, I was the first steam engine to go 100 miles per hour, despite rival claims. That makes me special, but Mallard here thinks he's special because he broke the record. I did, and so I am. Sure, but I set the standard, so you're not as special as me. Agnes accepted the fact that she couldn't stop the two from quarreling. The two record holders kept arguing throughout the week. But everyone else knew that one of the Gresleys designed engines was good. His name was Prince of Wales. Or just Wales, the only P2 to not be rebuilt, which means he served British Railways in that condition. Josephine was fond of the engine too, as she was designed by Thompson and never actually served the LNER.
I don't understand why you're so friendly to me.
Because you're not like those two. That means you and I can make a good impact on this railway for the sake of our roots.
I guess that makes sense.
At the end of the week, the Big Bone Controller came to see the 4 LNER engines. Alright engines, I have some very important news exclusively for you four. A few track inspectors have come to inspect the track to North Bay, and they've requested a northeastern locomotive to pull their train. So I'll have Josephine push the train from behind for extra traction, and I shall pick one of the Grizzley engines to pull the train. Josephine groaned because as soon as the Big Bone Controller left, Mallard and Scotsman began to argue again, this time about who was to pull the train. By the next week, the day of the inspector's train was nearing. Rohit was speaking to Josephine about what was located at North Bay, of which unfortunately I cannot tell you because that will spoil the next season. Anyway, Scotsman came into the station with his train, earlier than Mallard. So when Mallard finally arrived, Scotsman was quick to criticize. Where have you been? What is your problem? I'm on time. Correct, but only barely. I left early, but some points were misaligned and I nearly derailed. But it was corrected in record time, and with my amazing speed, I made it here. Yes, but you wouldn't have had that amazing speed without me proving its worth with my record. That record is broken now anyway. You just raised it is all. That's enough, you two. Well, you're one to talk. You've never served my railway. You almost didn't serve the LNER either. What? What are you talking about? I'd also like to know this intriguing information in more detail.
It's true! Your class was ordered by the Great Northern Railway before the grouping in 1923. I remember those days. Very nice. They were when the Caledonian Railway ruled the Scottish Highlands all by themselves. I remember one day when...
Okay, Rohit, you don't need to bore yourself over the past.
But I thought...
And as for you, Mallard, you broke a different record compared to Scotsman. What do you mean? You broke the record for the fastest steam locomotive. Scotsman made a milestone for the first steam engine to go 100 miles per hour. Oh. That makes me feel ashamed. In the end, Wales was chosen for the train, and Josephine could finally sleep at night without having to deal with two of Gresleys' finest, who had learned that some arguments had no reason to exist.
It is time, my engines, to take over the railway and run our own.